The shadow of tariffs falls on a world in crisis: Myanmar and the global trade war. Myanmar, a nation already grappling with the devastating aftermath of a recent earthquake and the ongoing turmoil of a brutal civil war ignited by the 2021 military coup, now faces another formidable challenge: a staggering 44% tariff imposed by the United States. This punitive measure, part of a sweeping trade policy overhaul spearheaded by former President Donald Trump, casts a long shadow over a country struggling to rebuild and find its footing amidst unprecedented chaos. The earthquake, a cataclysmic event that further destabilized an already fragile nation, left a trail of destruction in its wake, compounding the humanitarian crisis brought about by the ongoing conflict. Trump's decision, announced amidst a flurry of accusations and a bold declaration of intent to protect the American economy from being cheated, upended decades of established U.S. trade policy. The sheer scale of the tariffs, impacting numerous nations across the globe, threatened to trigger a full-blown global trade war, potentially destabilizing already precarious international economic systems. The implications for Myanmar, already struggling with internal conflict and the aftermath of a natural disaster, are profound and potentially catastrophic. The 44% tariff levied against Myanmar is not an isolated incident. Several Southeast Asian nations find themselves ensnared in this web of escalating trade tensions. Vietnam, a key player in the region's economy, faces an even higher tariff of 46%. This aggressive approach to trade policy reflects a significant departure from previous strategies of cooperation and engagement, potentially jeopardizing long-standing economic partnerships and development initiatives. The impact extends far beyond Southeast Asia. Several African nations are also disproportionately affected, highlighting the global reach of Trump's trade war. Lesotho, a small landlocked kingdom described by Trump as a nation nobody has ever heard of, bears the brunt of a staggering 50% tariff. This seemingly arbitrary targeting underscores the unpredictable and often insensitive nature of the policy, overlooking the unique vulnerabilities and challenges faced by individual nations. Lesotho, already grappling with one of the world's highest HIV infection rates, nearly a quarter of its adult population is HIV positive, now faces the additional strain of crippling economic sanctions. Madagascar, with a 47% tariff, and Botswana, with a 37% tariff, also find themselves among the hardest-hit African nations. These tariffs represent a significant blow to their economies, hindering their development efforts and potentially exacerbating existing social and economic inequalities. The impact on vulnerable populations is likely to be particularly acute, further undermining already fragile healthcare systems and social safety nets. The timing of these tariffs is particularly cruel. Many Southeast Asian nations, including Myanmar, are already reeling from the cuts to USAID funding, a critical source of humanitarian assistance and support for pro-democracy movements. This reduction in aid, coinciding with the imposition of hefty tariffs, creates a double whammy, further limiting their capacity to respond to crises and pursue sustainable development. The combination of reduced aid, escalating conflict, natural disasters, and crippling tariffs paints a bleak picture for the future of these nations. The far-reaching consequences of Trump's trade war extend beyond mere economic hardship. The instability and uncertainty created by these policies have ripple effects on global security, potentially exacerbating existing conflicts and fueling further social unrest. The interconnectedness of the global economy means that the actions of one nation can have profound and unforeseen repercussions across the globe. The case of Myanmar, caught in the crosshairs of both internal conflict and external economic pressures, serves as a stark reminder of this interconnectedness and the devastating consequences of unilateral trade actions. The world watches with bated breath as nations struggle to navigate this turbulent landscape, unsure of what the future holds. The legacy of Trump's trade war, however, is etched indelibly in the hardships faced by nations like Myanmar, a poignant testament to the human cost of short-sighted economic policies.